Welcome back to another episode of Rundown and Broke Down. Neil is back from his honeymoon. I almost said harmonica. That's not right. Neil's back from his honeymoon, so we're going to continue working on stuff together now. Neil, how was your honeymoon? Was it good?
Lots of driving.
Lots of driving.
Lots of driving.
How was the wife? Lots of driving?
Yeah.
Anyway, today we're going to be assessing some of the issues still left with the Pontiac, because it does run, drive, and stop now. Stopping part is optional.
Yes, very.
Such as the mirrors are loose, the exhaust exploded, it still has no temp gauge, so, you know, hope and pray.
Indeed.
And we're also going to change the fuel filter. I couldn't get a carb kit for it. Nobody has one.
Or a fuel pump.
Or a fuel pump.
It
So
might
I've
get
got to
electric.
order those. Yeah, we might put the electric on.
Maybe.
Might do what every other channel does and toss a drill battery in the trunk. But we don't have to wire in a boat tank.
No.
Which is good because we don't own a boat tank.
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do. It's at River's house.
Never mind, we're golden for
Yeah.
Revive.
We got
Revive.
everything.
We got everything. We didn't even have to buy half this shit.
Exactly.
But we're going to dive into assessing what's still wrong with it besides the obvious. But let's go ahead and hop into the work. Oh, don't fight me.
So the temperature gauge is not working in the car. A couple reasons that could be is the completely bare, possibly broken at one time wire. Could be the sensor. One quick way to test the gauge is, well, on this specific gauge, it doesn't work off of power. It actually works off of a resistance to ground. So your sensor has a little waxed core in it that connects to a little contact, and it changes the amount of resistance that this wire has to the ground of the engine block. One easy way to test is actually just take this wire and ground it out and turn your key on, and if your gauge pegs, your gauge still works. If it does not, your gauge is dead. So we're gonna take and hold this here and go ahead and turn it on.
It's on.
Is the gauge moving?
No.
Well, then the gauge is dead. So looks like we'll have to possibly trace this wire and or just replace the gauge with an aftermarket one that is non-electronic, a mechanical one.
That wire's still on, right? Wire's still on it?
No.
Put it back on real quick.
There, it's on.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing?
Yeah, I just tried jiggling the key to see if it would make a difference.
Okay. Well, yep, that's dead. So we'll have to go and replace that.
So as you can see, I have the felony equipped right here, but I can't commit the felony because somebody else did it before me. I mean, I've never done that. Don't cut off your catalytic converters. That's for the environment. So because this exhaust is destroyed and not installed correctly, did I mention it was destroyed?
Yes.
Okay, so because it's destroyed and it's also not installed correctly, I'm just gonna cut the pipes off to get it out of here, because we're gonna figure out something else with a different muffler and or a resonator. And you'll see I'm wearing safety glasses. There's a Bondo, or there's a pile of Bondo over there, which should be evident enough as to why. It's not just safety squints. And I have earplugs. I like what little hearing I have. And it's not much. And the doesn't go away. Ever. So, I'm gonna get to work hacking all this off. And I'll just imagine Judas Priest is playing. Breaking them off, breaking them off. You're kind of warm.
Want to explain what you're doing?
I'm dropping the sway bar out of the way because the sway bar, since it's so far expanded, is holding the muffler, which should be currently unsupported by anything but the sway bar. So because I'm an idiot, this is going to fall on me. Oh, the nut's traveling up this one. Ow, that's warm.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
there's a washer.
Not anymore.
Yes, there is. Right there. Aha. And
Need a hammer?
well, it looks pretty well stuck from my angle. Because it's supposed to slip over it. This is a really weird sway bar link. Really weird. I don't like it. Probably need a hammer and a pry bar, and somebody bottomed out this at one point, you can tell. Because they rubbed it on something. They didn't bottom out the frame rail. Well, frame rail. Oddly enough. But yeah, it's still being held in by the leaf springs and whatever this. I'm sorry, I mean whatever this dumb clamp is right here, because it slips over the bushing like that. So this is going swimmingly.
Is it one you just have to spread open?
If it will spread open.
I can grab a screwdriver.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Try and get it to open up. And this shouldn't be held in by anything, but it feels like it is. Oh, it's held in by this spring hanger over here. Yep, it's held in by a spring hanger. So let's see if the 1/2 inch will move that. Nope, because it's 9/16.
All right, I'll grab you more tools.
All right. So we have this muffler that came off of your Dodge, right?
Yeah, came off the
I don't need these.
D200.
And there's a pipe stuck in here, and it's the same size as that one. And because we just kind of want to hear what it's going to do, I'm just going to cut past the pipe, which should be right about there.
Yeah, like perfectly.
And that, kids, is how you eyeball stuff. So, just so we're all on the same page, don't eyeball stuff. You should use measurement and, I don't know, precision, if you can. I still have to get this pipe out of here, which this pipe is held in up here in an expressly dumb manner. So grab the felony maker for 9,000. And
Did it cut it?
almost. Cut that side, so we just got to cut the other side. That's cut. That's a bimetal blade. It's not meant to do this.
No, that one is a metal blade.
It's not meant to cut rubber.
Oh, no.
And now, let's try to. It's in my eyes. There. We've now successfully removed all the tips. And now we can try and mock this up, which may or may not go well, who knows. And it, for the most part, fits. So you want to grab a jack stand,
I will.
and then we'll see how this sounds. We very loosely have it installed. By installed, I mean there's a pipe running into it and it's on a jack stand. So we're going to see if it's obnoxious or anything. We'll still pipe it farther. This is just test fitting to see how it sounds. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So with that in mind, we have more to work with, so we'll pull this one off and we'll try another one here. These were all free, courtesy of all the exhaust we've cut off. So I'm going to skip ahead through most of this footage. We had bad weather move in and didn't get a whole lot done that we actually wanted to get done. So we just kind of ended up side piping the car. Also at the beginning of the video, how I said I couldn't get a carb kit and a fuel pump. Well, I ended up getting one, and the rest of the footage that I'm showing you is from another day. Sorry, that spacer plate thing.
Here, let's show the good viewers what we have here. We have this spacer plate thing here. Should probably zoom out before I do that. Got this spacer.
Bad. We can reuse that.
Should not.
No, I haven't.
Got that nasty ass carburetor, and those squirters were leaking.
Yep. That's kind of normal for a Quadrajet. And somebody ground down the throttle shaft at one point.
And screws?
And they put new screws in it. Because these are riveted in, aren't they?
Yeah, you got grinded off to remove the butterflies.
And, I mean, the rears, I think, are always screwed in. But the fronts were ground down. And, I mean, it was leaking. A lot, everywhere.
Yeah.
That hose is new. Keep that hose. That one I specifically replaced for the hot air choke. So now it's just disassemble it, clean it, and put it back together with the rebuild kit.
All right.
And that's your area of expertise, my good sir.
Kind of.
So while Neil messes with the carburetor, rebuilds it, I'm going to clean up the mating surface here. You always want it to be a nice, good mating surface, that way you don't get a vacuum leak. And I'm also going to vacuum up around the intake, get that all taken care of. Why is that a gap? You know what? I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't care. I'm sure that it'll be fine. And if it's not, well, I'm sure it'll be fine. So, go ahead, get the paint and old gasket material off. Which isn't going to be the most interesting thing to watch.
Alright, well, Sage is working on the fuel pump on the car. I am going to take apart and attempt to rebuild this old Quadrajet. What is it, M4MC?
M4MC 800 CFM.
So it's a M4MC 800 CFM Quadrajet with a EGR spacer plate here. And we're going to take it apart and ultrasonic clean it, blow it out, put it back together. First things first, I want to take off any exterior fittings on it, such as any vacuum lines, electric pods, choke mechanism, anything like that. Find out this barely fits. This is for the vacuum brakes. Alright, next. I know some people are going to cringe at this, but I am going to use a 1/4-inch impact because otherwise this takes forever and hurts my wrist.
Yeah, not to mention some of those screws are
Tight.
they've seen better days.
Yep. So.
I broke 2 bits trying to adjust the choke this morning.
Nice.
Spoiler alert, I didn't adjust the choke.
Well. Yeah, those are. Worst case, I use my hand impact to finish it. Alright, what do I want to take off first? Yes, that's for the choke, so I'll leave it. The wrong side. Oh. That's loose already. Did you touch any screws on the side of the carburetor?
Nope.
That's nice. Oh. Well, you know what? I've got a video of this, so I'll just make sure it's all in view of the camera, so I actually remember how to put it back together and not forget anything like the last time. Oh, where did that go? Where did that? Oh, just through there? Okay, good. That rod goes right down through there, if you can see it. Just drops right out. Go in there. Next, I guess we'll take off these, which are all really loose. That's kind of scary. Alright, disconnect that. That just goes. There's your vacuum secondary pot. That's what that's for. This other pot. What was that for? That was for the choke, it looks like, aside from being an air choke as well. What's annoying? Anyways,
This one doesn't even work.
if we have to rewatch this video, we have to rewatch the video. Alright, that's one choke screw. Two choke screws. Is there even a bracket there? Oh, it's still on there. And oop. Oh. Looks like we might end up taking this one out with vice grips. Or maybe just, I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope I don't have to weld a nut to it. I always can if need be. So your secondary butterflies that dash pot was connected to. Well, not butterflies. What is it? Secondary air dam?
What?
The choke-like mechanism over the secondaries. It's just an air dam.
Air horn.
Air horn. Well, the whole top.
They're vacuum butterflies, but it's mechanical underneath.
Yeah, I know that.
Keeps them closed.
Yeah.
But the top of that is the air horn.
Well, the whole top of the carb's the air horn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was talking about the butterfly specifically. All right. I would take the choke off, but I'm gonna have to get back to that screw later. Next, I guess I could take. Can I take the choke out? No, it's been peened. I can't take the choke butterflies off. I guess at this point I will try disconnecting. Oh, that's just missing. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, never mind. You just take the top of the carb off. I haven't done one of these in a while. Holy crap, that's a long screw for some reason. And broken washer. Now we got a pick over here to take that out with. Well, I guess I'll go grab a pick and be right back. Not for YouTube. Just a little cover with a gasket. Must have been for, oh, it's for the accelerator pump well. I see. All right. Now take the rest of these off. And not forget the one underneath the throttle, or not the throttle, underneath the choke butterfly. There's 2 screws in there. Don't forget those. I did once. Ended up bending the top hat of the carburetor and it leaked. That would actually be the one on, was that the carb on your truck, Sage?
What?
Was it the carb on your truck that I forgot the 2 screws under the choke and pried on it?
I think so.
It was either that or the one off my 85 Dodge. There you go. Don't want to lose any washers. That's really bad for a carburetor. It should just come off though. You shouldn't have to unthread them all the way. Normally. I took out the one there. Just these. Oh shit. Okay, make sure to hold the choke when you do that. If I can see it. Alright. And those 2. Now, theoretically, this should, with a little bit of persuasion, pop off. It should be all of them. Shush. Hey, at least I didn't go straight for the flathead screwdriver. Just a light little tippy tap. There it goes. All right, now. Oh, well, it's not gonna work because there's a choke still attached. Then the accelerator pump can come off. Yes, I will. That can come with it, from what I remember. Yes. So that can come with, that cannot. I am just going to zip the screw out. For that. That way we can remove that. I'm going to put the screw right back in. Otherwise, I'm not going to remember which screw it is. Like I said, last time I did this was a couple of years ago, so it's been a while. Oh, there's your metering rods. It's not supposed to go in there. Look, all right. Is there a DB, I guess, classification? I'm not sure how Quadrajets or Rochester labels them versus Edelbrock or Holly, where it's by actual diameter. There's those out. All right, maybe now we can pull this off. I say maybe because oh yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. That was better. Having those secondary metering rods in there. Yeah, that's the bottom side of the top hat, the air horn. I mean, it's got some carbon and some fuel varnish, but I've seen worse. Get if those come out. They do not. Just have to sit in there nicely. All right. This gasket off so you can hopefully see everything. That's nasty.
That's after I scraped it off too.
Oh.
I'm gonna hijack you for a second.
Your primary metering rods are seized. Like, I cannot move them. And I don't remember there being anything underneath there that holds it. They should just...
So just the hijack real quick. Mechanical fuel pump. As you see, we got a little lever here. We got a gasket, mating surface. You want to clean and make sure that all the gasket comes off the block. I can't really film under there. I don't have any good way to show you. This fuel pump was filthy, still worked, but if the car's been sitting a long time, you want to go ahead and replace it anyway, because there's a good chance that the diaphragm that's internal of this is dried out and it's going to blow the diaphragm. Then you're not going to have any fuel pressure. So it's a good idea just to replace these. They don't cost very much. Chevy, you have to move a push rod out of the way. With Pontiac, you don't. And do you have to do that with Dodge?
No.
Is there a push rod? No? Yeah, so this is just driven right off of the cam. That's what this lever is for. And it sucks fuel up and pushes it into the carb. But that's just a quick rundown on a fuel pump. All yours.
Yeah, so, on this carb, obviously, got your air horn, which we just looked at. This is your accelerator pump and spring. This one is actually kind of hard. This little rubber umbrella is what actually pushes down into the well here, you can see, and pushes fuel. Takes and pushes it down and forces it up through the squirters right here, which, you know, gets sucked down into the carburetor. And then let's get this rod out of there that I've been messing with. So yeah, you got a lot of carburetors. If you're having hesitation off of a stop, or it doesn't really want to rev all the way, take your air cleaner off and just look, see if it's your pump here, accelerator pump, is squirting all the way through full throttle, because otherwise it'll make it run lean a lot of times. I had that problem on my Dodge. That was actually because the Chinese carb, it came with the wrong accelerator pump spring, and on the pump here, and actually down in there, they were way stiff. And actually this one's okay. It looks like it's going to be really stiff, but it's actually not. So that's always one thing you're gonna want to check. This looks like 225 something. Actually, this one looks like it's pretty easy. You just pull the spring down and then slide that disc out. Spring comes off, and off with it. Unless this is two pieces here. Also, your primary metering rods here, I'm pretty sure these are seized. Normally they just move up and down easily. Like I said, I haven't done Quadrajet in a little while, so we will have to look into that and see what is going on. I'm gonna grab some pliers and see if that comes out. Now, I guess we'll see if these move or not. Oh, yeah, they were stuck. Okay, so yeah, that would definitely cause his car to run lean like it's been and not run correctly. These are supposed to move pretty easy. Actually, it almost looks like somebody put these together wrong and put the gasket on top of this little plastic washer here. Yeah, because those are supposed to free float, and looks like somebody did indeed put it together incorrectly, and that is not floating up and down like it's supposed to. So yeah, definitely something to look out for. You want to make sure these move easy, or it's just gonna, the metering rods are, they go through the center of your jet, and the diameter here, as it changes, changes the diameter of your jet by taking up more or less space in it. So with these being stuck all the way down, it's basically closing off most of your jet and not giving your motor any fuel. Or in his case, running lean. That's why he had to turn the timing up to get more power out of it. Not supposed to move in there. No. No, I don't think so. It just stays. Alright, we'll take a look at that. Get this gasket rest away out of there. And you do want to try not to tear this a whole lot. That way you can match it up to your new one that you get. Because the last Quadrajet we did, it came with a couple different ones. They had a few different holes in this area. So you want to look out for that. Alright. This here's going to be your float. Oh, nice float cover, basically. Made of the same plastic. Alright, and let's get that spring out of there. That apparently wasn't doing anything for the primary metering rods. And then this is going to be your needle and seat with your float. There's your float. Nice thing about Quadrajets is they're plastic, just like a lot of motorcycle carburetors, so they don't really can't fill with fuel or anything like the old copper ones that Edelbrocks use. Polymer ones tend to last a lot longer. Got your pin for your float, and then if I can grab it out of there, you have your needle and seat. And this is a rubber tip needle, which does tend to seal a lot better, but at the same time this rubber gets hard and then it starts leaking because it is no longer sealing. We're going to be replacing that, so we're not going to bother cleaning it. Alright, now you can go ahead. Probably gonna have to grab a bigger screwdriver. Pull out this jet here. Whatever this is. I actually don't know what that is. It looks like a jet. I guess we'll just take out that assembly and see what purpose that serves. I'm honestly not sure. That's not something I've really seen before. It does look pretty gummy down in there. On this Quadrajet, at least, your primary jets here are replaceable. It doesn't look like I don't believe the secondaries are on this. They're just down in here, just open holes. And you've got, I can't pull out the seat with this screwdriver. Is this one big enough? Hopefully, nope. Looks like I'll have to grab a big old flathead for that. I guess we can take out our little holder here for the, I guess, splash shield or whatever. On the is a little shield to keep your cylinder pump well from overflowing into the rest of the car body. Actually has a little hole here just to let some fuel out. And I'm gonna pull this screw out. Might have to grab a magnet, it looks like, and I'll grab a big screwdriver to do that. Alright, I'm back with a magnet for this screw here, and it doesn't fit. Okay. Come on out of there, you little screw. rest of the way. It should just come out there. There we go. Alright, that looks like it's actually a plug. Oop, did I drop a washer? Or something? I heard something.
Oh, yeah, in case you're curious, you can come see how bad the undercar is.
Yeah, it looks like it's just a plug for the accelerator pump well. Oh, I see. It's the check ball
If you're curious, you can take a look and see how bad
for the accelerator pump. Keeps it from giving it too much fuel. And it looks like actually that little plate that I pulled out, thinking about it, that's actually what gives fuel to the accelerator pump well. It's just a limiter plate, that way it's not just flooding it. Alright, we'll take out the seat, and the screwdriver is also not big enough, but it's not in there very tight, thankfully, so it's going to come right out, and there is going to be a washer underneath it that seals it. That way obviously gas doesn't bypass it and flow in. Well-built seat, actually. Sometimes carb kits will come with new seats along with needles. Not all of them do. Some of the cheaper ones don't. This doesn't look like one that you probably would replace. It just comes with a new washer. Alright. Pull this plate out. And for the rear butterflies. Let's take out this thing. See what it is.
The hardest part was getting the bolt in the back side of it. Normally the hardest part is getting it to line up and getting one bolt in. Well, when it's gonna be small, like you got a push rod, and the push rod pushes against the spring.
Let's see. Oh, that must be some sort of power valve.
Yeah,
And that's the adjustment screw. Well, that was all the way down. I'll just leave it all the way down. Oh, a nylon spring. It's new. Alright, that jet is pretty clean. We're gonna obviously clean them anyways, blow them out. Make sure they're clear. That one's, I think, a little more restricted than the other one. No, it's about the same. All right. Primary jets are out. Secondary jets are not removable that I can see. Where those are down in there now. I'm not gonna be able to grab them. I do not. Yeah, those are definitely the. Actually, jets there. I wonder if there's jets down in here. Sometimes there is. I'm gonna go grab a special screwdriver I have for doing jets and see if the jets are in there. I don't remember. The secondary jets are not removable on this Quadrajet, it looks like. And as far as the rest of it, some people would. There's accelerator pump check hole, do not lose that. Some people would, like someone has previously, grind off a little riveting on the end of the screw to pull your butterflies off. I'm not going to do that. I never have had a need to. I normally just scrub it with a brush, and the ultrasonic cleaner takes off most of this crap anyways. The one thing though to look for is, it looks like these little squirters here, I don't exactly remember what these are called, but they are leaking, and it looks like somebody has previously JB welded them or something to keep them from leaking. If you can see that, all that crap on it, it's not supposed to be there. As well as the transfer slots here in the Carb are way too open. These little slots here, you should only have enough of that slot visible to see a tiny little square, kind of where the black line is down in there. So this thing did not have proper vacuum on the primary circuit as it was supposed to, because those are too far open. All right, I will take.
If you're chugging the oil, let the engine sit for 30 seconds before you do.
Oh, there goes the or the rod for the choke. I guess that isn't in there very tight. Oh, I see, it just goes into the rod. Okay, didn't realize that. Alright, that makes life easier. I am going to take off these screws for the base plate. That way the body of the Carb can get a lot better clean on it than the lower here. I am also going to take out the idle mixture adjustment screws. And these idle mixture screws look okay. They're a little dirty and corroded, but not horrible. Those are not tight either. That's not a good thing. All the stuff on this should be relatively snug, if not slightly hard to get off. Otherwise, you can have gasket leaks. Alright, there we go. And your butterflies and washer are off. And, as you can see, the JP what I was talking about, all this is not supposed to be there, and this really isn't either. A lot of people do that because these like to leak, so do those, but that's really not a good way to fix it. As you can see, it's been leaking and most of it has come off. Take off our lower gasket here. Try to make sure as much of that gasket is off as you can get it. Sometimes if the gasket won't come off, you can get it off the rest of the way after you ultrasonic cleaner. Again, try not to tear this. You're going to want to make sure it's the same as your new one. And also, I probably should have counted my mixture screws when I started, but this carburetor was not adjusted properly to begin with. So there was no point in counting them. Also with the transfer slot screw here, a lot of people will call it your idle speed screw. It's not. It's to adjust the transfer slots. Do not use it as idle speed. It will make your carburetor not function correctly. And looks like that is all good to get put into the cleaner. Alright, so as you can see, we're driving along here, holding a steady 35-ish. By the time we got the carb done, it was real late, it was dark, you couldn't see anything, and I didn't really like how the end of the video turned out. So I figured I would shoot this while I was out on a drive, just to show that yes, we got the carb rebuilt, yes, the car works right, and also just as kind of a shakedown test, see how well it's doing. So when we get to the section that I want to be at of this road, I'll go ahead and restart this, that way you can see how it's driving. Alright, so this section of this road is nice and windy. It's also all uphill from here to get to the top of basically what is a dam. Never actually been to the dam, so don't quote me on that. But we're gonna see just how well that this carb is doing. And I know how well this carb is doing, and I've dialed it in. We got a one-lane road ahead. Yeah, I don't like this road.
nice and bouncy because the shocks are bad. I'm able to get all the way on the car, and it's not breaking up like it was. That person's burnout did not go well. They went from one side of the road straight to the other side of the road. Which generally isn't where you want to end up in a burnout. Pulling out onto a highway here. And the car's got good power. So I've been driving around for a bit, just making sure everything checks out like it should, and it does. Car feels just about right. It still needs a few things concerning the carburetor. The fuel inlet is stripped and it leaks. And I'm just gonna have to buy a new one. There's not really enough there to fix it properly. And of course I pick a high traffic hour to do all of this, which is great. But all things being considered, the car is running extremely well. I'm not a highest fan of the oil pressure it makes, so I'll probably end up swapping out that oil for heavier weight oil. Eventually I'll get around to rebuilding the engine, which will include a better oil pump, fresh set of rods, crank if it needs all of that. Get the heads milled. Oh, thank you. It's totally not like I wanted to go, and you should have used your frickin' turn signal. As you can see, the traction issue is not great, mainly because these tires are old and they suck. So, with all the testing I've done, I know the car's running well. It doesn't overheat, it doesn't break up, it's got great power. There's still some things that need attention, like I said. So, all that being said, I'd like to thank everyone for watching this video of Rundown and Broke Down. If you like this kind of content, if you want to see more of it, hit the follow, like button, subscribe it, share it, leave a comment, do all that good stuff. It helps the channel grow, helps us be able to do more stuff, lets us know what you like and what you don't like, and the other stuff that we'll get to. Just now realizing how bad the lighting in here is. But, again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.